This is a letter that was drafted by Caitlin Clark and her teammates demanding justice at the University of Iowa. Did I get your attention? If this were a letter from Caitlin Clark and her teammates at the University of Iowa, would you keep listening? Well, I'm urging you to listen to what I have to say about this letter. Because this letter is no different just because it's coming from Riverside City College. If you did happen to come across a letter similar to how the women's Final Four did not have equal weight facilities as their male counterparts a few years ago, wouldn't you be outraged if this letter was from Caitlin Clark and her teammates, or Dawn Staley's players at the University of South Carolina, or Kim Mulkey's players, Angel Reese and company at LSU, or Paige Becker and her teammates at the University of Connecticut? I think you would. So in part, this letter basically states that the athletic director, the athletic training staff, and the equipment manager that we know of accused the women's basketball players at Riverside City College of smelling, of stinking, of being fragranced. Full transparency, I had to look up the word fragrance because I'd never heard of it before. It is not a racist or a sexist term, so I just want to state that. But it basically is stating that you are insinuating that someone stinks. Well, let me give you the backdrop to this story. So basically what happens in the California Community College system here is on October 1st, all the men's and women's basketball programs are issued official school gear. That usually includes anything the coaches have gotten for the players, whether it's practice gear, shoes, sports bras in the case for women sometimes, or tights, whatever it is. And what typically happens after practice is you put your clothes that were the school-issued clothes. Now, you can usually add some underwear or socks to be included for the equipment manager to wash your gear. Now, you're not supposed to put your jeans and hoodies and all kinds of other stuff to have your laundry done. For the most part, school-issued equipment, and again, you can put some socks in there or something like that. That's reasonable. Well, the women's basketball program at Riverside City College still, when this video is being made, is more than 2 weeks into the season, which again started on October 1st, and the men have all of their gear, and they had their gear on October 1st. So because the women's basketball program has to use their own gear, which the head coach had to purchase out of her own pocket, her own money, because the gear wasn't in, they're not allowed to have the school wash their gear. Now, I know some people are going to try and put two and two together and say, well, the players may be smelling because they're not having their laundry done. And I'm not saying that whatsoever. The accusation that the players smell is insulting. Now, let me ask you a question. Have you ever been in a football locker room? I have, for 36 years, from the time I was a player in college to the other 32 years that I've been coaching. And I can tell you with 100% certainty, even if every football player showers, the stench, the smell in a football locker room is one of the worst smells that I've ever smelled in my entire life. It is atrocious. It makes me want to throw up. It is disgusting. And I can guarantee you, with not 100% certainty, but I can guarantee you that the athletic director, the athletic training staff, and the equipment manager don't confront the football players and say they are fragranced, or they stink, or they smell. They just understand that they're athletes and they're football players, and that just sort of comes with the territory. Now again, I've been around women's basketball players for the last 17 years. I can tell you with 100% certainty, with my situation, I have never seen or smelled anything remotely close to what the football players' locker room smells like. And I can tell you that no women's basketball players, girls' basketball players, have ever smelled. And maybe other people have had different experiences. And it's so insulting, I don't even know where to begin. And I would say that women and girls typically take extra precaution to make sure that they're putting their deodorant on and their sprays and that they smell good, because that's just really important to anyone that I've come across in that space. Now, I'm not even going to get into the fact, well, yes, I am. The women's basketball program also has roughly $6,000 less in their budget than the men do. So that is a whole nother issue in and of itself. And the justification by the school administrators is ridiculous. It's unacceptable that the women's basketball program at Riverside City College has roughly $6,000 less in their equipment budget and in their basketball budget for this year, the 2023-24 season. It's unacceptable. Now, again, I go back to my earlier question. Can you imagine if there was that type of discrepancy, which is about a 50% less budget for a women's basketball program at the Division I level? Now, I'm not an expert at anything at that level, but when the budgets are so small and a team is getting less than $10,000, which is the case here on the women's side, and the men are getting, I think, around $13,000, and the women are getting about $8,000, it's just ridiculous. So if you combine the fact that there's at least 3 people in the department accusing these players of stinking, smelling, and being fragrance, that they are not being issued their equipment because, for whatever reason, no excuses, it's not in yet, the screen printing's not done, so the players are using their own clothes, their own shoes. A lot of them don't have access to laundry facilities, and the fact that they don't have the same budget as the men. Not just like $1,000 less, not a couple thousand out of a $13,000 budget, but literally nearly $6,000 less. So this letter from the players is to whom it may concern, but hopefully the administration and the president and the athletic director, who is an absolute unprofessional human being right now, from everything I can see. He's an interim athletic director, and what he's done in terms of treatment of the players, and Coach Berber, who's embroiled in her second lawsuit. You can read it on my website at www.thesportsdailypodcast.com. I want everyone to demand justice for these women's basketball players in the same way that you would demand justice for those other players that I mentioned in the beginning, because they deserve that. And Coach Berber and the players deserve to go to work in a non-hostile working environment without retaliatory behavior from the administration, without fear of any kind of retribution because they're speaking out, to have equal access to facilities, to have equal equipment, and to feel like they're in a safe space when they go to school and to practice every day. We will be doing another podcast on this issue with regards to the head women's basketball coach, Alicia Berber, along with Cheryl Miller and others. So stay tuned for that. I will keep you updated on the resolution for this, but to be quite honest with you, if the last 20 plus years is any indication and how they're going to just sweep this under the carpet and try and appease the players when something is brought to the attention of the school and the media, and then it gets, again, swept under the carpet. But this is highly offensive. It's illegal. It's unbecoming of a human being, let alone administrators and staff members at an institution of higher learning. It's sexist. It's in violation of Title IX. And I'm asking everyone to do whatever they can, whether it's call or email the president's office or the athletic director at Riverside City College, to demand justice for not only the players, but Alicia Berber, head women's basketball coach. If you made it this far, I sincerely appreciate it. I have been reporting on this story for nearly a year, and I've been posting every day, and I will continue to post every day until there is justice, now for the players and for Alicia Berber, head coach at Riverside City College.